I was 67 years old the night my son called me a toxic, selfish, has-been, in front of 300 investors, tech journalists, and Seattle's startup elite because I refused to hand over my $1.2 million townhouse to fund his fifth, failed business venture. The microphone feedback screeched through the gallery space as Brandon's voice carried to every corner of the room, my name twisted into an accusation while phones tilted toward us like a firing squad of glowing screens, all pointed at my face. Before I tell you what happened next, I need you to do something for me. Drop a comment and tell me where in the world you are watching this from and what time it is right now. Are you listening while you meal prep? While you sit in traffic? I want to know who is out there, hearing my story. And if this resonates with you, if you have ever been treated like a walking ATM by someone you raised, hit that like button and subscribe. You might be surprised where this goes. Now, back to that gallery in Pioneer Square. I stood there with my champagne glass frozen halfway to my lips, the bitter taste of expensive Prosecco turning to acid in my mouth. 300 pairs of eyes locked onto me. Behind Brandon, projected on a massive screen, his new AI assistant app demo flickered with promises of revolutionizing productivity. Revolutionary, that was always his favorite word. Revolutionary food delivery. Revolutionary dating algorithm. Revolutionary NFT marketplace. All revolutionarily bankrupted within 18 months. And now, revolutionary AI assistant 2, the dream that would change everything, the one that just needed his mother's entire retirement security as seed funding. My name is Dr. Elena Vasquez. I spent 35 years teaching economics at Seattle University. I married David, a brilliant architect, when we were both 28. We had one son, Brandon. We lived in a modest 2-bedroom in Greenwood, drove Hondas until they hit 200,000 miles, and saved every bonus, every tax refund, every unexpected check, because that is what you did when the future felt uncertain and retirement seemed both distant and terrifyingly close. David died 8 years ago, massive coronary, while presenting plans for a waterfront development project. He was 59 years old. Gone before the ambulance arrived, his reading glasses still on, his hand still holding a pencil. The life insurance payout and my retirement account combined to exactly $847,000. A financial advisor, someone David's partner recommended, told me to invest in real estate while Seattle's market was still climbing. I bought a townhouse in Queen Anne with a view of the Space Needle. Paid $680,000 in 2017. It is worth $1.2 million now. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, a rooftop deck where I can watch the sun set over Elliott Bay. I finished paying it off 2 years ago with money from consulting work, adjunct teaching gigs, every extra dollar I could earn after retirement. That townhouse was not just property. It was my insurance policy against becoming a burden, my safeguard against nursing homes I could not afford, my independence, brick by brick, mortgage payment by mortgage payment. Brandon knew this. He used to visit and stand on that rooftop deck, hands in his pockets, staring at the skyline like he was calculating something. He would say it half joking, the way people do when they want to plant seeds they can later claim were never serious. "Mom, this place is too big for you. You should downsize to a condo, maybe in Belltown, somewhere with less maintenance. You could give me and Tiffany the equity, we could leverage it for the business. You know, keep it in the family." He said it like a joke, but his eyes never laughed. Brandon was 24 when he crashed his first startup, a food delivery service that was supposed to compete with Uber Eats by using drone technology he did not actually have access to. He called me from his apartment at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday, voice thick with tears. "Mom, I am about to lose everything. The investors pulled out. I need bridge funding just to shut down properly, pay the developers, avoid lawsuits. $45,000. I will pay you back within 6 months. I promise." I wired the money the next morning. He never paid it back. After 3 months, he stopped mentioning it, and I stopped asking because what kind of mother keeps a ledger against her own child? A year later, it was a dating app. Revolutionary algorithm that matched people based on astrological compatibility and Spotify playlists. He needed $67,000 for beta testing and marketing. "I will have investor meetings lined up by Q3. he said. This one is different, Mom. This one has traction. It folded after 10 months. Users complained the matches were random. Tech blogs called it a horoscope scam. Brandon blamed his co-founder. Bad timing, market conditions, everything except the fundamental idea. Then came the NFT marketplace. $89,000 to build a platform where artists could sell digital collectibles tied to physical locations in Seattle. Be the first person to own the NFT of Pike Place Market, the Space Needle, Gasworks Park, own a piece of Seattle history. The platform launched the week before the entire NFT market crashed. He lost everything, including $30,000 from Tiffany's parents, who stopped speaking to them afterward. By the time David died, I had given Brandon over $200,000. After the funeral, after the life insurance check cleared, he asked for more, just to stay afloat while he figured out his next move. I said yes because grief makes you soft, because saying no to your only child feels like losing something else you cannot afford to lose. But there was a pattern I pretended not to see. Every failure came with excuses. Every ask came with promises. And every promise evaporated the moment the money cleared. Tiffany made everything worse. She married Brandon 3 years ago in a courthouse ceremony, then immediately started an Instagram account called Tiffany Tech Wife, where she posted about their entrepreneur lifestyle. Pictures of co-working spaces, green smoothies, motivational quotes about grinding and manifesting. She had 48,000 followers who believed she was living some aspirational dream funded by venture capital. In reality, it was funded by me. The Tesla Model 3 inches her Instagram posts. I co-signed the loan when Brandon's credit could not qualify, the Bali honeymoon that looked like a tech retreat. I paid $32,000 because Brandon said they needed to network with Southeast Asian investors. The designer wardrobe she claimed was essential for pitch meetings. My credit card, month after month, charged to the limit and slowly paid down by my consulting work. David used to say, if you rescue someone every time they stumble, they never learn to watch their step. His voice played in my head every time I transferred money. But I did it anyway, because he is my son. Because I kept thinking the next one would be different. Because mothers are good at believing in second chances, even when they have already given a 12th. The AI assistant idea started 6 months ago. Brandon showed up at my door on a Sunday with a pitch deck. Literally a printed PowerPoint presentation, 47 slides about how artificial intelligence was going to replace productivity apps. This is it, Mom, he said, eyes bright with that familiar fever. I have been talking to developers in India. I have a UI designer in Portland. All I need is seed funding to build the MVP, get it in front of investors, and this thing will scale. I am talking Series A by next year. Series B within 3 years. We are looking at a potential exit in the 8 figures. How much? I asked, already knowing the number would hurt. He hesitated. $1 million too. I know it sounds like a lot, but that is actually conservative for this space. Some of the developers I have been talking to say I should ask for $2 million minimum. I set down my coffee. Brandon, I do not have that kind of money. You have the townhouse. The townhouse is not money. It is my home. He leaned forward, hands clasped like he was trying to be patient with someone slow. Mom, you are sitting on equity you are not even using. You could take out a reverse mortgage, or better yet, just sign the title over to the business. We form a holding company. The townhouse is an asset. We leverage it for a business loan. And boom, we have capital. You still live here. Nothing changes for you. But now you are an investor in something with real growth potential. I thought about David. I thought about all those nights he sat at our kitchen table, sketching buildings he would never see completed, talking about the difference between dreams and plans. Dreams are beautiful, he would say. Plans are what you do when you are willing to fail small before you fail big. Brandon had never been willing to fail small. No, I said. I am not using my home as collateral for a startup. His face shifted. The brightness dimmed. His jaw tightened in a way that reminded me uncomfortably of my own father, a man who believed the world owed him success just for showing up. So, you are just going to hoard it, he said quietly. You are going to sit here in 3 bedrooms you do not need while your own son struggles. You are not struggling. I said. You have an apartment, a car, food. Struggling is not the same as not having startup capital. He stood up, grabbing his pitch deck. Unbelievable. Everyone talks about how you were this amazing professor, this brilliant economist, but when your own son asks for help, you turn into Scrooge McDuck swimming in your pile of gold. He left without saying goodbye. 2 weeks later, Tiffany called. Her voice was sugar-sweet, the tone she used when she wanted something but knew asking directly would not work. Elena, hi, she said. Never, Mom, always my first name. I wanted to invite you to something exciting. Brandon is doing an official launch event for the AI assistant. We rented this incredible gallery space in Pioneer Square. We are inviting investors, tech journalists, some VCs from California. It is going to be huge. We would love for you to be there. Why? I asked. Because you are family, she said, like it was obvious. And honestly, it would mean so much to Brandon to have you there supporting him. Especially after everything. Everything. Code for the conversation, where I said no. I will think about it, I said. The event was on a Thursday evening in mid-October. I almost did not go, but something, curiosity maybe, or maternal guilt, or the stubborn need to prove I could show up and still hold my boundary, made me RSVP yes. The gallery was packed when I arrived. Exposed brick walls, polished concrete floors, track lighting illuminating blown-up screenshots of the app interface. Waiters circulated with champagne and those tiny expensive appetizers that cost $80 per dozen. A slideshow played on loop showing Brandon in thoughtful poses, staring at laptops, gesturing during whiteboard sessions, looking every inch the visionary entrepreneur. I recognized a few faces, a journalist from the Seattle Times, a tech blogger I had seen at university panels, people in expensive casual wear, the uniform of wealth pretending not to be wealth. Brandon saw me across the room and waved, a big performative gesture. Tiffany appeared at my elbow immediately, phone already out. Elena, so glad you made it, she said, angling for a selfie. This is such a special night. Before I could respond, she snapped 3 photos, barely looking at me, already checking how they looked on screen. Brandon is going to speak in about 10 minutes, she continued. He is going to talk about his vision, the roadmap, the funding goals. It is going to be so inspiring. I found a spot near the back, champagne in hand, and waited. When Brandon took the microphone, the room quieted. He had clearly rehearsed. His voice was confident, warm, the kind of charisma that made you want to believe him even when logic said otherwise. Thank you all for being here tonight, he began. 2 years ago, I had a realization. We are drowning in productivity tools, but we are not actually more productive. We are overwhelmed, distracted, paralyzed by choice. What if there was an AI that learned your work style, anticipated your needs, and became your personal productivity partner? The crowd murmured approvingly. Investors nodded. Someone near me whispered. Interesting angle, he went on. Slides appeared. Market analysis. Competitor comparisons, user personas, revenue projections. It was polished, professional, the kind of presentation that came from watching too many TED Talks and reading too many think pieces about disruption. Then he got to the funding slide. We are seeking $1, $2 million in seed funding to build out our MVP, hire key engineering talent, and launch beta testing by Q2 next year. We already have interest from several angel investors. But tonight, I want to share something personal. My stomach tightened. My mother is here with us tonight, he said, gesturing toward me. People turned. Phones lifted. Dr. Elena Vasquez, retired economics professor, one of the smartest people I know, and she believed in this vision so much, she wanted to be part of it. My champagne glass almost slipped from my hand. Mom, he said, voice dripping with false warmth. Do you want to come up here and say a few words about why you are investing? The room erupted in polite applause. Faces turned toward me, expectant, impressed. A woman next to me whispered, "What a supportive mother." I did not move. Brandon's smile faltered for just a second. Mom, come on, do not be shy. I am not investing, I said, loud enough to carry The applause died. The room went silent, except for the ambient music still playing from hidden speakers. Brandon laughed, nervous, performative. She is being humble. My mom is actually contributing the seed capital through a family investment vehicle. She owns a property in Queen Anne, absolutely beautiful townhouse, and she is leveraging that equity to back this venture. It is incredible, really, a mother's faith in her son's vision. That is not true, I said, louder this time. I am not giving you my townhouse. I told you no. His face changed. The mask cracked. What stood in front of that crowd now was not a confident entrepreneur, but a desperate man who had bet everything on a public manipulation working. Are you serious? He said into the microphone, his voice rising. Are you really going to do this here? In front of everyone? You brought me here to trap me, I said. My voice shook but held. You wanted me to feel pressured in front of all these people, to feel like I had to say yes, but I already gave you my answer. No. Someone gasped. Phones were definitely recording now, little red dots blooming across the crowd like warning lights. Tiffany appeared from somewhere near the stage, her face furious. You are embarrassing him, she hissed at me. This is his moment. His moment built on a lie. I shot back. Brandon grabbed the microphone. His voice turned cold, ugly. You want to know why I need outside funding? Everyone? Because my own mother, who has over $1 million in real estate equity she does not even need, refuses to help. She would rather sit alone in her big house than support her son's dream. That is the kind of person I was raised by. Selfish. Stuck in the past. Toxic. The word hung in the air like poison. Toxic. The room had gone completely silent. Even the ambient music had stopped. 300 people watched me, some with pity, some with confusion, many with their phones still recording. I set my champagne down on a nearby table. My hand was steady. My voice was steadier. I have given you over $480,000 in the last 8 years, I said. 4 failed startups, car loans, credit cards, vacations disguised as business trips, and you have never paid back a single dollar. I am not selfish for protecting my retirement. I am done being your ATM. Then I walked out. No drama, no shouting, just a quiet exit while my son stood on stage, microphone in hand, breathing hard, his carefully constructed pitch imploding around him. In the hallway, a woman stopped me. She was Asian, early 42nds, dressed in jeans and a blazer, a press badge hanging from her neck. Dr. Vasquez, she said. I am Sarah Chen, investigative reporter for the Seattle Times. Can I talk to you for a minute? I should have kept walking. But something about her expression, sharp and focused, made me stop. What you just described in there, she said carefully. The pattern of failed ventures, the family funding, the public manipulation. I have been researching this exact dynamic for a story. Would you be willing to talk to me on the record? Not now, I said. But here is my number. She handed me her card. Call me when you are ready, she said. What just happened in there should not have happened, and I think your story could help other people. I drove home in silence, my hands gripping the wheel too tight, my mind replaying every moment. When I got to my townhouse, I locked the door behind me, poured myself a real drink, and stood on my rooftop deck watching the city lights blur through tears I had not let myself cry in public. The next morning, I woke up to 47 missed calls. Tiffany had posted a video on TikTok. It was me, walking out of the gallery, edited to look cold and cruel. The caption read, "When your toxic MIL refuses to support her son's dreams and humiliates him publicly, pray for us." It had 2.1 million views. The comments were vicious. Horrible old woman. She deserves to be alone. Imagine having a mother like this. Some people should not have kids. My hands shook as I scrolled. Death threats appeared in my DMs. Strangers who knew nothing about me, nothing about the years of enabling, nothing about the pattern, calling me selfish, greedy, toxic. I called Sarah Chen.